Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so since the speaker has joined, I would like us to not just waste time so that we can just move ahead. But before I move ahead, my name is Joris, and I'm going to be your co-facilitator for this particular session. And on this call, we'll be having Rebecca from Wikimedia Rwanda, who will be the speaker for this session. And will be taking us through this whole session as a whole. So this session is basically a session under feminism. And before that, I would like to let everyone know that for the sake of documentation purposes, we will be recording this particular session so that we can be able to also share it with others who will not be, who are currently not available for this session, but would like to have like a rewatch of this session and take some learning outcomes from it as well. So before I start, let me break. Now, I would like to also remind everyone that throughout this particular session, the Wikimedia friendly space policy and the code of conduct policy is also effective, and it will be taking place throughout this whole event. And we are looking forward to making sure that this event goes successfully without any issues as well. With regards to the agenda for this particular event, there will be a brief introduction to this particular workshop and a brief overview of the Feminism and Folklore Initiative, which I stated earlier. So the Feminism and Folklore Initiative is basically a campaign that gives in room for us to be able to also document folklore, for us to be able to also document folklore related to gender gaps on Wikimedia projects as a whole, right? And through this particular session will be hosted by Rebecca, sorry, not Rosie. Then once we are done with that, the Q&A session, then some contributions from participants with regards to some learning outcomes that they do have, some experiences that they would like to share, if they have certain remarks or maybe suggestions to also give us, for us all to be able to also learn from all of these. We can be able to take all these contributions into this particular event, or take away those contributions from this event. Then once we are done, we have a closing remark with regards to summary key takeaways, then acknowledgements and next steps with regards to next events that you'll be looking forward to having. Thank you very much. So with this, I would like to hand off this particular session to Rebecca, but before presentation slides, then minutes. Good. Hello, Rebecca, please, are you ready?
Hello.
Hello, Rebecca.
Yes, can you hear me?
Hello, Rebecca.
Yes, loud and clear from my side.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Perfect.
All right.
So we leave everything to you now. You can take it from
here. Thank you so much. Let me say that Mema wajo. Mema wajo, everyone. I don't know if I'm mentioning it in the right way, but I just loved it to say hi to everyone in Twi. Is it Twi language? So I learned that they say that mema wajo and also mema waha.
Yes,
So my name's Rebecca Jeannette Nyinawumuntu, but many people calls me Rebecca. So I'm happy to be here today and share with you some tips, some few things about journaling, archive, feminism, and folklore in our shared ecosystem of free knowledge. I am from Rwanda. I know a few people knows maybe Rwanda. I am from Rwanda, a country down there in East Africa, around Kenya, Tanzania, Burundi, Uganda. And I am a mother of 4. I'm a co-founder of Wikimedia User Group Rwanda and the OpenStreetMap Rwanda. I am the founder of OSM Rwanda. I don't know, maybe few of you knows about OSM because I know we have OSM in Rwanda, in Ghana, OpenStreetMap as well. So anything, everything around open community, open data, open knowledge. You see, I'm there. I'm also an advisor in AFCOM. I'm also a member of WISCOM since last year and this year. I wear many hats actually in the movement, and I'm happy for that. And also, I have so many friends in Ghana, Joyce, Stella, yeah, and many more friends. So I hope you can hear me loud and clear, but I will just request one of the person here on the call to unmute so that when maybe my internet may cut off or something may go wrong with me, and then I will not know if you can hear me or not, but someone can unmute and he will be just replying some yes, or some just to show me that we are together, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, sure. Because when all of us are muted, you cannot know something on the internet. You know, these virtual things are really, yeah, they are driving away. They are driving us the way they want. So they are a bit tricky. So I may get lost and no one will just let me know. Yes, so thank you so much. I am not a trainer normally. But I like to share what I have. And one of the reason I like to share is that I learn a lot. So having this opportunity to discuss with Ghanaians on this platform, of course, I also learned a lot in this process. But most of the thing I work on the movement is movement strategy 2030. I do specialize in that. You know, Rwanda has become the first country to introduce the needs assessment research to start hubs, and so far we have been able to receive like 2 grants on that. I was able to be the one of the people who is driving this. So I'm happy to meet you all, those who are from Ghana, those who are from all over Africa, from outside Africa. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to share with you this. So it is unfortunate that I was not able to hear from introduction so that I know everyone who is here, but it's okay. Yes, so what we are going to be looking at is not much, it's just thinking on building inclusive repositories for folklore documentation. It's just that, as simple as that. You can put the next screen, the next slide. Yes, session goals. So I know many of us here, we maybe already understand gender bias, and in the movement ecosystem, many people knows about this, and this is why in the movement we have many communities around the world and different kind of project, but most of the project in the ecosystem typically related to gender bias. On Wikipedia, like, you know, most of us here, we are on Wikilabs, Women, Wikigap, we do this, we are in this working group, we are in this respective affiliates around the world, and there is a reason behind is to bridge the gap, you know. The reason behind is to make sure everyone's voice is heard, especially for gender-based or other minorities around the globe. So here we will try to understand gender bias in folklore documentation. For example, in Rwanda, it is huge. We still have a lot of work to do about it. We learn how to identify and fill gender gaps on Wikipedia and Wikidata, and also gain hands-on skills in editing and improving gender inclusive content. So I am not promising that we are going to do the hands-on in this session, because I think I have only 30 minutes if I will be able to maintain, but this also I will request the team to keep following up on that and make sure this happens, because hands-on work, it is the main intent, is the main reason, and it is the reason. It is okay. It makes things happen. I can mention that way. Next slide. So I want us to think of or name of a woman or a gender minority figure in Ghana or elsewhere in the world. If you're here on this call, maybe you're coming from South Africa, from Nigeria, from Rwanda, from UK, from Germany, please unmute and tell us and respond to this question. Tell us gender minority figure, in your respective country, and also name that gender minority figure in your respective country, but related with folklore and oral tradition. So do we have any, I saw Mohammed raised his hand. Can you please? Yeah, please unmute and tell us.
Okay, so I will mention Gundona Samata. The name is Gundona Samata. She's one of the women chiefs in the northern part of Ghana.
Oh, can you tell us a little bit about her?
Please come again.
Can you tell us a little bit about her? What do you know about her?
Okay, so the chieftaincy institution is one of the highly regarded institutions in Ghana, especially the northern parts. And she is in the northern part, there are women who are chiefs. They are not queen mothers. Elsewhere, the chief's wives or the chief's wives are referred to as the queen mothers. But in this case, she is just a chief, a king on her own. She also has subjects who are even men, and she also installed other sub-chiefs within her jurisdiction. Yes, so that is what I can say about her for now. But if you have any other questions.
Yes, thank you so much, Mohammed. It is in Ghana, you're so lucky. Yeah, I learned about Queen Mothers. You're still having that. So it's really amazing having having a library, it's such a library for future. So thank you for sharing. Anyone again? Who else? Should I choose someone by randomly? If you don't mind.
Why not Siaji?
Why not Siaji? Please go ahead.
Oh my goodness, this is really very like sorry, I am not aware much about the Ghanaian folklore people, but I love to I try my best to translate it, at least in my own language. But
Yeah,
sorry,
you can
yes.
help us in some of the Indian figures.
Oh yeah, sure. There are okay. So there are a list of like there are thousands of people who are still not on Wikipedia, and they deserve to. Like Ritu Kumari, she is one of the favorite famous Pandavani singer in here, and I would say another name that is. Sampriya Puja. She is again a fantastic local folklore Pandwani singer. In India, one mythological literature, Mahabharat, it is very famous over here. So she sings the incidents like it's a you can consider as a long play. So she takes a part of uh, that that literature and she performed by singing. Yeah, I will share you the images also, and I have uploaded lots of her picture during this Wikila folklore campaign.
Yes, thank you so much, Suyesh. Do you think I have been chanced to be in India in New Delhi? One of the things I realized is that they also have very rich culture. They were able to maintain their culture, and so. But do you think there are some more content behind the scene of folklore or of women who are not yet documented either in libraries in India or on our common platform, Wikipedia or Wikidata?
Yes, actually, the libraries. See, the libraries which we usually see in the West is totally different what the material what available in especially in the Eastern countries like India and South Asia countries because unfortunately nobody has the right specific topic covering to the local folklore. However, there are certain books available, but because as they are not primarily written in the English, so you can understand, like it is really very hard uh, to quote something. So if someone is doing some research to quote those books or those things in their research papers, because again, the language is a barrier here. So, but of course, yes, we are trying our best to do cover more and more. Such artists and the culture and everything, even not only through videography, even documenting video, audios, and everything, but also on Wikidata. But I know that these efforts are not still, it's not good enough. We need to work more hard. Yeah.
So to
Sure.
add to what Suyaji is saying about the oral traditions and this folklore in India, it's basically said that at every 200 kilometers there's a new language that you can see in India. So we have a variety of folklore traditions and a variety of local oral traditions that goes on. It has been passing on through generations from a very long time. So it's like every village will have a own folklore, own tradition, own oral way of passing down the information. So that is what it is in the Indian subcontinent.
Thank you so much. Who was speaking? Tivan?
Yes, it's me.
Yeah, yes, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. Yes, so in some countries down here in East Africa, for sure we don't have we have very few traditional folklore because of the history happened in our countries, especially for Rwanda. Everything was lost. So we are always happy to learn from such countries like India, Ghana, South Africa, those who have history which has been lasted, those who maintained queen mothers, kings, and so it's an opportunity, and this is why this ecosystem of Wikimedia Foundation of Wikipedia has given an opportunity the communities to narrate, to document the stories and folklore. I also learned that this traditional, it's knowing it supports our future to be better. If you know your history, if you know the practices, if you understand the reason behind those customs and norms has been they were doing long ago, it also there is always big reasons behind that, and people can use that to maintain peace and security, and so this is one of the things I learned. So yeah. Let me just say that thank you, Tim, for also bringing this, because the essence of having folklore and feminism and women in all of this, helps us to maintain future and peace, and also support this ecosystem of free knowledge. Yes, thank you all. Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you, Tive. Thank you, Suyesh, for sharing. I think we can move to the next slide. Yes, so what is gendering archive? Here are just a few points, the way I perceive it. I think it's just a practice to ensure diverse gender representation is there in documentation. And also, at some point, some people, some countries, depending on what they believe, they move beyond male and female dominated narrative in cultural memory. They bring a wider perspective on this, depending on their culture. Includes women and the other gender. Okay, I can't move without reading this. I see some people are sharing some good contribution in the chat. Okay, someone said that in my high school history, teacher used to tell us that if you don't know where you come from, your history, you won't understand where you are heading. Or the journey ahead of you. This is very true. This is what I was trying to mention. So this is very true. This is what I learned about. So we should know where we are coming from, because when you try to trace the peace and security and long life, like people before we adopt this kind of medicine, before we used to use traditional medicine, and people could live long, life expectancy was very improved, very high. Our ancestors used to live, all this is because they were able to maintain some things. The current future, we generation, we are not able to maintain. We rather adopted other things. So yeah, this is very true. So as I said, back to my slides, some people move beyond male and female dominated narrative. You all know that, according to the way they see things and the way they believe. But also what is very common includes women and other marginalized storytellers. Who can tell us other marginalized storytellers? Who can tell us one or two you think can be a marginalized storytellers? Anyone can tell us?
So we have one in chat.
Oh, we have one in chat. Okay. Anushka said that my personal favorite women, Lani Lakshmi. I will apologize if I don't mention it well, you know.
Yeah, so it's Rani Lakshmi Bai.
Lani Lakshmi Bai.
Yeah,
Thank you so much,
perfect.
Steven. Yes. So she is a legendary figure in Indian folklore, symbolizing bravery, patriotism, and women's empowerment. Her historic deeds and sacrifices have been immortal in stories, songs, poems, inspiring generation of Indian to fight for freedom and justice. Wow, yo. Thank you so much, Anusha. And this is what we are talking about. And I hope she's already on Wikipedia, on Wikidata, right?
Yes, yes.
Oh, yes, sounds great. Thank you, Anushka. So yeah, when you try to think around the current generation, do you think there is newer? Because in our generation, we might be having brave women who are doing amazing thing, but because she is in our current generation, nobody minds, no one cares, because you see it is like, okay, you don't give it a reason. So I think we need to have, wow, I see her. No, thank you so much. We need to have a kind of editons and also analysis of our current story. We also have stories, right, Anushka? We also have stories. We also have things we are doing. So, which will be contributing to the future generation, to the future audience. So, also we should look at that, think of that. Yes. So yeah, thank you so much for this example. I see even the article in the chat. You can visit this. I also visit later. Yeah, thank you. Next slide. I don't want to use all the time we have today. So let's think twice. Do you have a problem with the current archive? Maybe yes. Few articles on women storytellers or performers, dancers, and so on. Maybe there is missing or inaccurate gender data on Wikidata. Oral traditions. How about oral traditions? Maybe they are not cited on gender aware. I may be right or wrong. We might be having a problem. And this is why we are here today. Next slide. Anyone knows about Anna's Stories article on this call? Please unmute if you know anything about it and tell us. I will wait until someone comes up. Hello? Anansi, yes. Yes, Jenny?
Please, what's the question? My
Anyone
network
knows
was
about
not
Anansi?
able to understand it.
My question is that anyone knows Anansi Stories articles on Wikipedia?
Yeah, maybe if I'm correct, I'm understanding you are talking about that 15 years old girl. She was a writer and she was, I think, she was dead. I don't know whether it was punished or something. Are you talking about the same, Anna?
Yes, Anansi. I'm not sure about the pronunciation. Okay, thank you, Soyish.
Yeah, I think Anansi, I think is the spider story that has or that mentioned the spider as a representation of a personality in stories. Is that what you mean? So for
All
the
right.
Anansi stories, our articles, we have a number of them in the Dagbani Wikipedia. We have a category for that we call Salma. So when you go to the Salma, it's about stories. So that category has a number of articles that tell stories about animals representing several characters and personalities.
All right. Thank you so much. This is one of the good work has been done on folklore of Africa, and it is in many languages on Wikipedia. So we can just take it as an example. And thank you for sharing. Yes. But we still need to increase, to add more female narrators on Wikipedia, and also citations of women on women laws. By the way, even in the region, it is really important and needed in our current ecosystem. Next slide. Thank you, Shishel. Thank you for sharing in the chat. Thank you, Suyesh. Thank you, Shelly. So we have many tools and techniques we use. Of course, I know many of you know more than me, but few of them is just editing on Wikipedia, adding content, sections, sources, also Wikidata editing. Adding all those smaller statements, we can be able to know, we can be able to understand. Yeah, next slide. We were trying to think if there is a problem in current archive, and we said yes, maybe there might be a problem, because comparing to men, we have on our documentation fewer female performers, women storytellers, and also we have very few articles, and this is why we have a bit of many lists of women in red and the other platforms where we meet and try to spotlight our stories as women. And so we have missing accurate gender data on Wikidata. We all know that. We miss oral traditions. They are not cited, or okay. According to our community in Rwanda, it is a huge gap. You can say that 5%, only 5% of not only folklore, no, women in general, notable women, women's law, and even the government, someone can become a minister or a life changer in one way or another, and ends her term without anyone noticing or anyone writing about her. And I think it is common in Africa and in Asia somehow. But also, I just put this website. People can visit and find some important philosophical framework there. It is for Ghana. I'm sorry, I was able to search on that one. Yeah, you can bring next slide. So some activities we should look at, which I believe that most of us have tried this before at some extent. At some extent, communities have done this because there are, as I said earlier, there are communities like India, like Ghana, like South Africa, who are rich in culture and they still have their story, like they know it is documented, and some cultural practices are still existing till today. So it's an amazing chance, it's an amazing opportunity to have such. So, but what we can do is to try to collect oral history, conduct interviews with notable women, such as queen mothers. I see in Western countries of Africa, they're still having elders, queen mothers, market women, local folklore experts. All those people have the knowledge which they can narrate. And then community members of a user group can just use a recorder because some cannot speak English. So you can record them, put that records on Wikicommons, on other platform. We even need it for our own use, for our own future, not only for just free knowledge. This is a medicine, if you don't know. It is a medicine for our future. You know, knowing your history, knowing where everything happening to you came from can make you be able to fight, to stand brave and fight the situation you are in. I'm sure some people knows this. If you know, like, you can be able to analyze the situation, maybe financial crisis, maybe political crisis, maybe whatever. If you trace back in the history, you learn about what happened, you can be able to handle the situation in the current future. Who believe the same way as me? Unmute and say something. Otherwise, I can't go on. What I said is true.
Yes, very true.
Thank you, CH, for sharing. Notable Rwandan missing from Wikipedia, you see? Yes, Clarisse Iribagiza, Sandrine Mutoni. Thank you so much. You know what? The challenge we meet all the time when we want to write, and I think it is common for local Wikipedias. You see, Clarisse Iribagiza is a notable woman, a CEO of Hehe Labs, and so when you look for sources, newspaper to back your article, you can't find it. No single newspaper wrote about that in most cases. So I think we should also think of a strategy we can use to have our notable women, our notable folklore on the newspaper. We even sometimes advise that if you are going to do any some anthropy, I don't know, sometimes English mixed with French and become an issue. Philanthropist. If you're going to do such a huge activity, please let people know, let some newspaper write about that good doing you are doing so that we can be able to get sources. Yes. Yeah, we can also do folklore documentation workshops as this one we are doing, train youth, especially girls, because they understand better how they want to be presented. Someone can do something for you, but it is always better if you do the things the way you want it to be. It is always good when you tell the story the way you want to tell, So if women can tell their own story, they can do better. Maybe someone can go there on Wikipedia, right? Bashabe Katen, a hawk in Accra, a hawk in Mumbai. And this maybe can be very abusive. But if it is a fellow woman, a fellow lady who is writing about this, she can know how to do it, because she know what bites her can also bite her friend. So we need to train more youth, but especially girls, if we want to really bridge these gaps. And like, for example, me, when I have to write anything on Wikipedia, mostly I write about women, politicians, and religious, and so on. But also we can think of gender audits of lab archive. You know, we just try to analyze existing local repositories or Wikipedia articles to be able to identify gender gaps. And I'm sure we can achieve this. But also we can look at Wikimedia editathons. We can add and improve articles about women in folklore. Yeah, you see an example. Very good names which I cannot be able to mention. If you are, you can read that better than me. But also community showcase. We can also organize exhibitions or storytelling events to return knowledge to the community. How do you see that? And also celebrate women cultural roles. You will tell me, you know what, Rebecca, all this needs a budget. Yes, I agree. To do this needs a budget all the time. But you know what? When we start as little as we can, always budget finds us in the way. I am sure, and this is how it works. Yes, thank you. You can put next slide. And please let me know if I'm going so slow, because I don't want to take the all the time. I think I highlight about this, but what I can mention here is to intentionally, find some few words we can put first at Wikidata, because one of the reasons we are not able to get enough content on women or folklore is because even on Wikidata, where we can start things from scratch, we don't have such little content. So intentionally, we sit down, we organize either mapathon, editathon, hackathon, whatever thon, to put together some simple data on Wikidata, because Wikidata is always a static platform and it is always easy to move things on Wikipedia, and these articles cannot easily be deleted when they have a backstage on Wikidata. Okay. While you are moving to the next slide, I say, okay, yeah. Thank you for greeting each other. I was checking in the chat. Why it matters? Do we need effective leadership to do this? Do we need determined community to do this? Whatever. Inclusion also strengthen equity and representation. And also it promotes equity and representation. So if we are able to do this, we can have very rich archive and also a more complete archive and documentation. So resources you can check on is Wikilove's Women. I shared the link, Women in Lead, and Wikidata Query Builder. Next slide. Next slide, please. No, you're moving so fast. I can't see the slide I need. Please go back. Oh, no. Next. Yes, thank you. So what is inclusive repositories for folklore documentation? It's just creating collections, repositories of folklore, oral stories, music, proverb, customs, rituals, that are very inclusive or somehow inclusive, depending on what you can be able to access. Different genders, for those who believe that. For those who don't believe, no need to do that. Different culture, different language, and also different communities. And this should be community-led, of course, because people know their own story than anyone. It is always better to organize participatory events so that people can express themselves, they can talk what they think, they can just say how they see things, even if there are protocols, but it's always to care about community perspectives in this, okay? So we also think of designing and preserving, and respecting traditional knowledge, as you said, without knowing your past, without knowing your tradition. Hello? I lost my presentation.
The recording stopped and came back on.
Pardon?
It looks like the recording stopped and then restarted.
All right. There is a blockage in your voice, Joris. I can't hear you.
Yes, I was saying that we can continue.
All right, thank you. Yeah. But I was saying that, yeah, this one I think I'm done with this one. You can move to the next slide. So I will just request the team to go ahead after maybe this session to do some real world scenarios and trainings, because I cannot do it right now. Move to the next slide. Next slide. Yes, thank you so much. Go back to the slide before, thank you. Yes. I think my discussion or my highlights on this are ending here, but I would love to know final reflections from you, and what do you think should be the next step? Unmute and tell us something before we end this presentation. Paul, Jenny, Sherry, Suyash, Anushka.
Yeah, thank you. So, by the way, this time I would like to listen from Anushka and Achal as well. But I'm just sharing, like, before they speak something. So I would like to share, like, people across the Wikipedia, they are doing some amazing work. Maybe they are like, they have developed a couple of such a tools which make these type of edits, and not only edit, even the uploading data to Wikidata and everything very smoothly. All we need to do more cross partnership, even inviting if you know someone in your community, or maybe if you know, like we attend lots of conferences like Wikimania and something. There we see lots of people are giving wonderful presentation about their work and the tools they are using. So I think it's time to collaborate with them, invite them to these type of sessions, and have a practical workshop, so that we can ease and faster our work to fill out these gaps. So yeah, that's just a suggestion. Over to you, Aanchal or Anushka.
Thank you so much, Suyesh. Since the recording has stopped, I think someone is recording this because this is one of the very important takeaway we can have in this session. Final reflection and next steps. Thank you, Suyesh. Partnership is the key, at least for the communities who don't have rich cultural narrative. We can partner with others and learn and also support, help to document. Why not? For example, in Rwanda, we are documenting stories behind 1994 genocide against Tutsi. The community from Tanzania just joined us to help us documenting those testimonies, those stories of the people back in 1994 genocide in Swahili. Why not India people can join us and help us to document in one of the languages? Why not someone from South Africa, from Ghana, from Nigeria, help us document the stories? Because there are some stories which is not really good to be forgotten in the world story, okay? So, thank you so much, Tim. Thank you for having me. I took much of your time. I didn't expect to do that, but thank you. Much love. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Rebecca, for having us on this session and for giving us some great insights with regards to this whole session as a whole. What I would like to move on to is that at the moment, if there are any questions related to the session or any additions with regards to this particular event, anyone can feel free raise up their hands, then also share their suggestions, recommendations, or questions as well.
Yeah, Rebecca, like, I would like to give one more suggestion over here. Like, as you said, like, there are very important topics which are still not covered in many Greek languages. And like you said about the genocide, we have, like, I still remember I have listened lots of stories during the news channels. But yeah, of course, we are just missing those articles. So while I was talking about the partnership here, I think Anushka and Achal, Achal is representing Wiki Club SATI. It's a club of engineering students, not engineering, but yeah, it is open to engineering and all who are interested in editing Wikipedia. We do this time to time editathon or something, and we are looking for the proper topics. So why not you people can give a list of maybe for starting 10 important articles which are not available uh, on Indic Wikipedia, or maybe like in the Hindi, I can share the languages which we are comfortable in writing, because you understand, like, English Wikipedia is really very tough. They need lots of citations which are available in our language, local languages and local text, and they don't accept because it is not written in the English. Or maybe if we give, the citation of a Hindi newspaper, because it doesn't belong to English language, they don't accept it all. And ultimately, it gives frustration to the editors, especially the newcomers, like when their articles get deleted, or, lots of bad comments, lots of high level argument, which they are not prepared yet. Like, it's really very tough to have conversation on English Wikipedia. So I would suggest, like, just give a couple of 10 or 15 important articles you want to have on, at least in Indic Wikipedia. So I think Aanchal is also here. She is noting down, and maybe we can contact with each other, and let's have a dedicated, or what you say, the theme, or maybe a topic specific editathon.
Yeah. I believe what you just shared other communities too across the globe can be able to also duplicate same teams or communities as well. And I feel this would be very helpful in terms of even newbies who do contribute to their local wiki project as a whole. And I think it will also save them the stress and frustration that they have to also go through with regards to sometimes contributing to English Wikipedia. So once there is like more focus with regards to contributing to their local wikis and having like the right content with credible citations and references to be able to support their contributions, it also makes it much more easier for them to also contribute and be able to also retain most of the old contributors or editors as a whole. So yeah, I believe this strategy should be able to also work across different countries as well. Yeah. So if anyone will also like to also duplicate such strategy or initiative within their country or region, they can be able to also feel free, then reach out to Siash with regards to that. Yeah. If there are any more questions, if there aren't any more questions, Tyven, if you're available to give us a remark or us to conclude.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Rebecca, for this wonderful session. Also, Wikimedia Rwanda's inspiring videos regarding the Wikilove's folklore, that the campaign, during the campaign, the reels and the social media campaigns were very inspiring. We are very thankful for that. And also, as you said, that young women, young girls need to take the step forward, and that's what we have been seeing on throughout the feminism and folklore campaign through our collaboration with the Wiki project SATI, wherein young college students have been coming together and writing about women, writing about their local folklore cultures in their own language, and that's what we have been doing on. Like bridging on the cultural gap on Wikipedia. So once again, thank you very much for this inspiring session. And what to you, Joris?
Okay, thank you all for joining, and we hope to catch up with you all on the next advocacy meeting next month. With regards to that, everything will be communicated across our platforms, both on Telegram and also some other Wikimedia mailing lists and channels as well. So stay tuned for that as well. Thank you all very much. Do have a blessed day and blessed evening as well.